I think if I hear you call me Becky one more time, six-pack, I'm gonna pop your tops. All six of them.
Who are you?
Hey, this is Matt once again. Welcome back to another video, and this is a paid request for Justin, and I'm redoing the video because I had done the video, I had uploaded the video, and then come to find out, thanks to some generous people, including one called RE98, give you a shout out, they let me know, hey, there's some audio issues. I went, what? I went, fuck. Computer, and I don't know, maybe I was uploading something as I was doing this. I don't know, excuses. So I'm like, you know what, that's going to annoy me. Let me redo the video. So Justin, I apologize for the lateness of the video as I re-review Firebirds from 1990. This was a paid request from Justin, and for those interested in requesting any other type of videos, reviews, re-reviews, commentaries, randomness, reactions, feel free to send them either directly to my PayPal or join my Patreon. Both links are down below in info box. And audio, can you please work this time? So, as for Firebirds, I wasn't really impressed watching the film again. And I have the DVD, it's over there. I bought it at a pawn shop for like $1 years and years ago. Firebirds, for those, like, what the hell is that? It's a 1990 film that's pretty much Top Gun, but with helicopters. It's pretty much what it is. It's directed by a guy that honestly didn't do much, and I can see why, David Green. It stars Nicolas Cage, Tommy Lee Jones, Sean Young. Pretty much at the beginning of the film, Nick Cage is in a chopper with other people in other helicopters. This bad guy comes in, blows some of them up. Really bad editing. It's like, here's an up-close face, here's an up-close face, then here's a chopper, then here's a chopper. I can't understand the geography. I can't understand what the fuck's going on. I just know there's something going on, there's chaos, and there's explosions. But I can't understand, like, was one here, and then one's over there, and like, I can't understand what the fuck's going on. Maybe because David Green is not the most accomplished director, it seems. He's no Tony Scott. And then I remember in the video that you don't see, because the audio was messed up, I said, you know what, if you want to see helicopter work done very well, watch Blue Thunder with Roy Scheider. And that seems more impressive because, number one, John Badham is a director who knows what he's doing, because he's done films like War Games and later Stakeout and The Hard Way. And you have helicopters in the natural city going through dogfights in the city and through factories and under bridges, and that's more intense and more crazy, while this is just a blank background of rocks and more rocks. Just not as interesting of a background. So if you want to see helicopter stuff, go watch either Blue Thunder or an episode of Airwolf. If you want to see this type of thing where it's a love story between two people and you have the kind of cocky pilot, go watch Top Gun. Or you know what, a better movie? Iron Eagle. That doesn't have the love story, but Iron Eagle, which doesn't have a Blu-ray. This has a fucking Blu-ray, but Iron Eagle doesn't. And Iron Eagle, that's a film where you have a cocky pilot kind of cocky. And then you have a older mentor, in that case, Louis Gossett Jr. In this case, it's Tommy Lee Jones. But, like, why isn't Iron Eagle on fucking Blu-ray? That's not on Blu-ray, but this film is. And this is not even, like, one of the worst films ever. No, it's far from it. There's a couple decent helicopter work, real helicopters doing stuff in the finale, but even then, it's nothing that will blow your mind. So Firebirds, like after that beginning, Nicolas Cage tells the story to this group of people, and some people you'll recognize. Captain Dale Dye, who's been in a lot of stuff. He was a consultant in a lot of stuff. Also, another actor, I forget his name, but he was in Remo Williams' The Adventure Begins. He was the guy who gives Fred Ward's Remo Williams his name, because the guy picked the name off a bedpan, but he's like, a lot of thought will put into this. And he gets Fred Ward onto this mission. I forget the actor's name, but he's in this. And pretty much they say a drug cartel, and we need to defeat this drug cartel, and this mercenary helicopter pilot is with them, and he's going to kill people, and we don't know who he is, and we never get to know who he is, just he flies choppers and kills people. Which is funny because they're showing pictures. I mentioned like there's a picture where the guy's looking over here, but he's giving like the evil glare, and the camera's like very up close, and it's like imagine this is the camera, and the bad guy's like, I'm like, where did that picture come from? Like, who took those pictures? Or was he doing a profile from Maxim magazine or something? Let me give you my evil glare. I don't know where the hell those pictures came from. But Nick Cage is like, I want to do this. And I like Nick Cage, but he was not the right fit here. Once in a while, he has a little bit of the Nick Cage craziness. I am the greatest. I am the greatest. Rack'em, sock'em, black'em. Gone, all gone, bye-bye. He just didn't work in this. A lot of times, he's rather wooden. Like when he's given about the speech near the beginning of why we need to do this because they're killing us. They're killing Americans every day with their drugs. And that's not verbatim, but I'm sure it's not the same plot at all, but there was a film that went direct to video a few years after this called Into the Sun. You had Michael Pare and Anthony Michael Hall, and they did better than this. And I know I'm going all over the place because it's a very simple story. Nothing wrong with that. Okay, Nick Cage, you went through this. We're going to send you over here to this Fort Marshall, I believe it's called. You're going to deal with Tom Lee Jones, who is an expert in these Apache helicopters. And you don't work with them. He also meets Sean Yun, former Flame. He's trying to get in her pants. She keeps saying no. The teeth keeps pushing it. Surprised he didn't throw her down and have his way with her. I don't think they had chemistry. Sean Yun and Nick Cage had no chemistry in this, in my opinion. They worked poorly off each other. I did not buy their dialogue. I didn't buy them in love. And Sean Yun has done better. In Ace Ventura: Pet Detective, she showed more genuine emotion working with Jim Carrey and Ace Ventura than in this. Tom Lee Jones is doing the best he can, but he couldn't save it. A lot of the film is just training. Going to the simulator, that's when Nick Cage is doing his over-the-top acting moments. I have strawberry gum. Would you like some strawberry gum? And he's looking at the camera, looking at the simulator. Will you like strawberry gum? I'm like, stick it up your ass for like here. So then you have this little maybe interesting subplot of Tom Lee Jones. He's older and he can't run as fast as the others, and he's trying to have a little friendly boxing match with Nick Cage, and he gets his ass knocked down, and he's hurting the next day. That would be the more interesting story, focusing mainly on Tom Lee Jones and this old guy who can't quite get it as much as he could in the past. But then, hey, he's going to do one more thing. He's not useless. One more big last bang, and then he defeats the bad guy, and then he'll retire. That's really what the movie should have been. Tommy Lee Jones himself, and maybe some buddies, like younger folks, oh, you can't hack it too much. Not this blasé, boring love story between Nick Cage and Sean Young that, again, you could tell they just wanted the Tom Cruise, McGillis, almost said Tilly LeBrock, that'd be different, Tilly McGillis stuff of Top Gun. And this didn't seem like it had the budget of Top Gun. It definitely didn't have the music, not just the score, which Top Gun has a great score, but the music. It doesn't have any memorable songs, at least not to me. I didn't care for the bit of songs here. It's definitely, even Iron Eagle at least had Queen. Like this, I didn't care for the soundtrack. The score I thought was very forgettable. Okay, I love helicopters, but you see it flying by a rock. Repeat, and then Nick Cage is like, you keep pushing me, Tommy Lee Jones. I'm like, what are you talking about pushing you? He's not pushing you. He hasn't done shit to push you. He's been very lenient. He pushed you a little bit in the simulator because you're getting cocky saying this is too easy. Okay, up the level. And then when you're flying, it's supposed to fly around these certain rocks. Tommy Lee Jones is pretty much keep warning you, hey, there's a rock and we're going to fucking run into it. You better do something so we don't fucking crash. If that's pushing you, man, you don't know shit about being pushed. Tommy Lee Jones is being kind to your sorry ass. So I don't get the, you're pushing me. And then this whole thing about this one bit you're supposed to look through, and Nicolas Cage is having an issue with it because something about his other eye is the more stronger eye, and that's where it leads towards. I'm like, then just use the other fucking eye. Like, just put this fucking device, put it on the other eye, and just watch through the other eye. Or these helicopters they're able to do all this stuff, but you can't just change it from here to here. So, hey, if my right eye is better, just use your right eye. Nope, it has to be this. Why? Why can't it be just this little monocle thing? Put it over here. Just because. Because we need some drama. And so Tommy Lee Jones comes up with the idea to put a pair of panties on Nick Cage's face and then drive in a Jeep, and in about 5 minutes it fixes itself, and now he can do it perfectly in the simulator. And then you have this love story that's not really interesting. Supposed to be friction between Nick Cage and Tommy Lee Jones, but Tommy Lee Jones doesn't really do anything wrong. At the end, he's very lenient compared to other places. He's a pretty fair pilot instructor. And then you get to the third act where there's been really no action except the very beginning, which is very confused. Close-up of a face, close-up of a face. Here's a chopper, here's a chopper. Well, what is the geography? Where are they placed around each other? Like, where's the helicopter here compared to here? And where's the bad guy? I don't know, just wasn't that greatly choreographed or filmed. Not until the third act, where they're getting bombed, they get in their choppers, Sean Young's choppers surveilling the area, and then there's, I don't know if they were fighter planes. Like, does a helicopter, whether it's a Apache helicopter or not, do they stand a chance with the planes that they showed at the end? If you've seen this film, and I don't know if they're fighter planes, I don't know what kind of planes they are, I'm not an expert on it. Does an Apache helicopter have a chance with them? Or against them? Tommy Lee Jones and his gunner take one down. I think Nick Cage and his gunner take one down, or they're ready to, and Tommy Lee Jones and his buddy crash down, and Sean Young helps out. Nick Cage and his gunner take on the bad guy. They do it's not the same thing as Top Gun, but fairly similar, where they do one type of maneuver and then boom, blow the bad guy away. It's not the same. The loop-de-loop, it's more, it goes, oh, calm down, let it fly past us, and then shoot the guy. That's pretty much what it is. And it's just with helicopter footage, there's plenty of other... Rambo First Blood Part 2. has a helicopter chase that is better filmed than this. At the end of Rambo First Blood Part 2. Blue Thunder. If you think this is great, go back a few years to Blue Thunder, where they're actually in a city, and one shooting the other in a city location, and going under bridges and through factories, and like Blue Thunder will blow you away if this blew you away. That's what I mean, like the helicopter action footage. David Green, again, a guy I've never heard much of. I can see why he hasn't done much since. The bits of action you've seen done better stuff. The love story is no chemistry, and Nick Cage, he's rather wooden a lot of the times. He would fit later in action films, Con Air, The Rock, because they're better movies, and with better handled action sequences, and better senses of humor to them. And Tommy Lee Jones does the best that he can, but he can't save it. And it's funny, Tommy Lee Jones after this would do JFK, The Fugitive, and he did JFK, Under Siege, and then The Fugitive. So he would do better than this, and go watch those Tommy Lee Jones films instead of this. You watch this film, you go, there are so many other better action films, Tommy Lee Jones films, the Cage films, Sean Young films, Chopper films. Go watch Iron Eagle that doesn't have a fucking Blu-ray. But this does. That's kind of my thought process as I watch this. I'm going, there's so many other films that did this better. There's really no reason to watch this. Unless you're the most hardcore Nicolas Cage fan, or you need to see every movie dealing with a helicopter. Other than that, feel free to tell me what is all the bee's knees of the movie. That's another thing. I see so many other films that still to this day do not have a Blu-ray. I've mentioned 4 times Iron Eagle. That's way better than this. And so I forget the company that released, was it Tino Lorber? It might have been someone else. I'm like, why didn't you do... I guess it's rights. That's where it comes down to. It's rights. Shit happens. With that said, thanks for watching. Oh yeah, the dialogue. There's a bit where Sean Young and Nick Cage are on different choppers and they're trying to flirt. It's like, take a look at my cockpit. Oh, well, I'm always ready. Well, it's just like how it is. I mean, how the hell did they word it? I don't know, maybe I'll take a look at your cockpit. Well, the way I am now is how I always want to be. Locked and loaded. I don't know, your cockpit was small. Like this shitty fucking lame fucking dumbass fucking flirty dialogue. I'm like, if I saw 2 fucking mannequins, they could have more chemistry than you guys are sharing. So other than that, there's really not much to say. You didn't talk about the villain. There's nothing to say about the villain. The villain really has I don't even think he has any dialogue, the villain. You just see pictures of him when they're in the meeting, and then a few up-close shots of him when he's flying the chopper in the very beginning, the very end. And before I had to take the old video down, someone mentioned, like, they seem like Argentina and Mexico were like the same place. If you're watching, feel free to comment that again. But yeah, this movie just isn't much to run. I can see why it gets a 4.7 on IMDb. It's not the worst movie ever. It's just very forgettable and useless. It's kind of a useless movie. It's just, there's so many other better movies to watch than this. So with that said, we'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.